Now I have joining me a journalist, Juliana Olayinka, to discuss this. Good to have you on the news. One would imagine that UK citizens would be Brexit weary by now.
I'm telling you, not just the UK citizens. I think the EU have literally had enough. You know, we're talking about the 12th of May, which is already an extension, 12th of April, which is an extension from the 29th of March. And we literally have 10 days to either crash out of the EU with no deal or try to negotiate a deal which has taken us 2 years to get thus far. So it's a total mess.
Absolutely. Now, MPs right now, some of her supporters, May's supporters, are already pulling back from her. What are the implications really? Because it's looking more and more likely that Brexit is over.
Well, Brexit as we know it is over. The chief EU negotiator, Michel Barnier, has been speaking publicly at a think tank. And he said it looks like a no-deal Brexit is becoming increasingly likely. For the third time, we saw that Prime Minister Theresa May's deal was rejected by Parliament. And so they had indicative votes. These indicative votes basically gave lawmakers in the UK, the House of Commons, the chance to vote on their own alternatives. 8 were rejected last week. We had 4 rejected last night. 2 of them were going for a softer Brexit, so having a customs union, basically allowing free trade with the EU. MPs rejected that. They rejected to withdraw Article 50, which basically would be no Brexit, and they also rejected a second referendum. So nothing is working at the moment.
Absolutely nothing is working, and the papers have been reporting saying back to square one.
Back to square one. You know, every time that Theresa May has taken her withdrawal deal to Commons, it has increasingly getting more support. So you never know. There are some people that are saying after her cabinet meeting today, she will again for a 4th time take her deal to lawmakers. So we have to see. But there are 10 days, and those 10 days are going to be crucial. And
what is likely to happen within this next 10 days?
I don't know. You know, Michel Barnier, again, it's now down to the EU 27. Let's not forget, shall I say, that there has been a populist sentiment sweeping across the EU. We saw it in France before Macron was going to win. Marine Le Pen was very, very close, and we've seen it in other places. So a lot of EU lawmakers are scared that if they're not hard on Britain, then there are other European states that could follow. So I think they're going to take a hard line. And let's not also forget that the withdrawal bill that Theresa May is trying to get through Parliament is the only deal that the EU are going to recommend and say that they're going to stick to. So even if there is an alternative deal, the EU are not going to accept it.
It remains as complex as ever. Juliana Olayinka, thank you very much for joining us on the news.